Hello there. Yeah, I know. It's kind of strange. How does one do a beak? Anyhow, how's this for an amazing aurora? I think it might have been after a recent CME coronal mass ejection. Anyway, look at those mountains. The snow on them is green in the light here. You know, an angel, an eagle, something with wings. Just having some fun here. Besides, I feel really unformed myself. I was kind of reaching out for something that felt like I felt, which is strange, just strange. Um, I don't know whether I've got the guts to just sit here and see what comes out, or I'm dealing with some more of that worthlessness stuff because I feel like I don't want to waste your time. I don't know what to say, friends. How are you doing? For the last 2 or 3 days, it's not so much that I felt lost. I've just felt kind of not here, not fully present. And I almost wonder if all of us are somehow getting together on the inner in some way, guided and directed by the higher self, and doing some upgrades, getting some work done. It's almost like the cars in the shop, the spirits. I don't know. It's going on, whatever's going on, it's going on at too deep a level to perceive with any clarity at all. And yet I'm able to perceive that something's going on. How useful is that? I don't know. You try putting words to it. You see how well you do. Okay. I have the third journal from January 16th that I wanted to share with you. The Mayan day was Tu Ahau, which is sun, Lord, or light. It's called Into Realization Out of Duality, Prayer as Fear, Just Being Here. Okay. Okay, so that was from the 16th, and this is what, the 28th, I guess. 27th, I don't know, I lose it. Oh boy, something really special is going on here. Now I know why I had to write that previous journal before doing morning readings. It's a surprise. I've not had a guru before, but I have one now, and he is working with me in this, or working in me with this, whatever. I can practically hear him inside. Well, maybe not quite, but so very close. So let me set this up for you. And if you haven't read or watched the previous journal, The Prayer That Failed, please do so now so all of this can make sense, have some context. It even makes some bit of mind sense as well as heart sense. Oh my gosh. I'm still absorbing or processing whatever it is, what's being presented to me here. There was a need to write the previous journal so that I could well bring forth the points in it. I still stand by it, even though this one will point up the duality in that one. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'm content. Let's see what is here for me, for us to pick up in this new one. As I've shared with you in a number of journals, I'm not into religion at all, but the whole focus of my life is spiritual. I do little or nothing by the way of practices, but I still have 3 prayers I say on arising, on going to bed, and on logging onto the internet. I even shared the internet prayer text in the last journal since it was so relevant. So you know about that aspect of the now in my life. And I'm going to step out of this one here and say, oh my gosh, I don't seem very good at being able to say my prayers into the journal because I got that one so screwed up live. I have the text of it in the not only do I offer these prayers, but they are a full meditation for me, as in the offering I bring my full presence into them. Presence, just being fully right here with whatever the now moment contains. Further, what I shared in the last journal was the power in this practice, the efficacy of the internet prayer as a for instance, and how it's not in the words, but in the presence one brings to them. It's not really focus, but it's similar and better said as presence, capital P. While all of that may well be the case, it's also true that it indulges in duality. This will be most clearly stated by Papaji in this morning's short reading, so I'll leave that to him. Up until now in this life, I have been content to welcome paradox, things that don't seem to make mind sense. You'll often hear me say, on the one hand, we do this, but on the other, we also have that, to make such a point. What do I mean by that? There is an ultimate reality, capital R, and inner oneness that is the true state or the nature of being. This is one without a second, only that. It has no need to communicate since all is just its very own self. There is nothing it doesn't know, nothing it needs to share, no place it needs to go, being at once everywhere. I am that, and so is each one. None are different in this. All truly say, I am that. Well, that's on the one hand, as I say, and on the other, we have our presence here in 3D, and clearly a realm of duality, of the light, dark, in, out, yes, no, good, evil, and so on. I think all can allow that much as being the case. My work has been to be in contact with and awareness of the ultimate being, yet while making a useful presence here in 3D body on earth. While I know that self is ultimately the one without a second, yet I have not experienced the fullness of that yet, not that I consciously recall. So that states the case up until now. Now I witness things shift and change. Here is my morning reading from Volume 2 of Nothing Ever Happened, the biography of Papaji. It comes in 3 short sections covering only 2 pages. Question. You seem so utterly alone. What gives you this aloneness? Papaji. Aloneness is here, only here, quote unquote. Do you understand? In this here, the master comes. Spirituality starts in this here. Here is the substance that makes the waves move, makes the wind blow, in here. And here alone will you experience who I am. In here, some other faculty will take care of you. It will pull you deeper and deeper into the silence. The question. Just now you showed me. Who you are is who I am. Substance, essence. Only now do I start to realize who I am, which is who you are. Okay, now as I read this, I recognized some of my own experience in it. Not the fullness of it at this point, but I can definitely attest to the line, in here some other faculty will take care of you, and to being drawn deeper into the silence. These are in my experience. Of the rest, I have but mind's understanding, which I largely disregard. Mind can be tricked. On to the second section, where things deepen for me. And these are from 19th October 74. Question. So the only way is to surrender to the inner presence? Papaji. If you have this idea, you believe that you are on the outside and that there is something inside that is superior to you. Give up this idea. You are neither inside nor outside. You don't need to pray to anyone or anything for help. If you start asking for help, you are in duality. Prayer is fear. You think that something bad is happening to you or will happen to you, so you pray for help. There is only one without a second. When you know this, all fears go because there is nothing apart from yourself to be afraid of. Question. So the master can't help? One shouldn't ask him for help? Papaji. My master gave me nothing new, nor did I attain something by myself. If he had given me something I didn't already have, then one day I would lose it. And if I attained it at one point in time, it means that at another point in time, I would lose it. What did my master do? He showed me my own treasure, and instantly I recognized it. Question. How to reach God? Papaji. You cannot attain God through any effort or sadhana that brings or begins or ends in time, because God is beyond time. You cannot reach him by any activity that takes place in time. If you think, I will attain God by this particular method, your mind will give you an experience that corresponds to your idea of God. It won't be an experience of God. It will be an experience of your own idea of God. If you want to know who God is, give up all your experiences, all your expectations, all your mental activities, and keep quiet. Close quote. Oh my God. Could this speak to me more directly? I don't think so. It is so very clear, and had I read it before going to the journal, the previous journal would not have taken shape as it did. And I needed to see that, to clearly express what was within, what was my truth at that time. Now truth is morphing again, clearly shifting. Well, truth doesn't morph, but my definition of it is. I don't know about you, but when I read some lines like this, so pregnant with spirit, I immediately recognize the truth of them. They clearly resonate beautifully within. Still, since I have not yet had the fullness of this in my own experience directly, I cannot yet call it my truth, that which I have truly made my own. I have the clear inner recognition, yes, and I cherish it. That is what is in my now. The fullness of stepping outside of time isn't mine to claim yet. So I have both a mental and a heart acceptance of what is here. And I look forward to the day when I will be the living proof, the embodiment of these words. Until then, I will cherish and ponder them. That's my response. The ultimate quiet I have in potential. It will be interesting not to place it into expectation, For I do know the truth of this surrendering of expectations. Precious, interesting, riveting. Okay, on to the last segment, which offers a bit more for the mind. And this is from 20th October 74. Papaji is speaking here. Sadhana can be physical, mental, or intellectual. If it is physical, you get physical results. If it is mental, you get mental results. If it is intellectual, you get intellectual results. God is not physical, mental, or intellectual. So whatever you attain by these methods cannot be God. Realizing the self is something else. There are many subtle states of mind that are mistaken for realization. In these states, there is still an experiencer who experiences the subtle state. When the sun rises, you see it with your own eyes. You, the experiencer, experience the sun as an object of perception. There is a duality in this perception, just as there is a duality in every kind of experience. But if you are the sun itself, you don't experience it as an object. It is your own nature, your own being. Seeing without a perceiver who sees and an object that is perceived is the state of realization. In that state, seeing and being are the same. It is a fact, but how can it be explained? Close quote. Now, the reading for that date in 1974 continues, but I was too stunned by this point to continue with it. So my morning reading stopped there. I am still stunned. By this, I know that inner work deep within is being done. I know too that I need to, quote unquote, do nothing. Nothing can be done about or with such things. They are what they are, and they are a precious gift of the Master. They themselves will do the work within you, for they are not different from that, from you, nor from the Master. This is the activity of the I am that we so often hear. Because it is you, you need do nothing about anything. It is all being done for you. This was alluded to in the first of these readings, where he said, in here, some other faculty will take care of you. Close quote. This that is so challenging to put into words, and it really can't be done. It can be followed in heart. Why is that? Because it is the same I am that both I am and you are. The very same. There is quite literally no difference at all between us and the Guru. Though I'm a little dizzy with this. And it was reinforced by the very Papaji satsang video that I was listening to both last night and right after my reading. I'll continue on for a bit here to see if any sense can be made. It does not take a teacher or guru to get this. The guru adds nothing to you. You already are and have all that you need. She or he sees nothing different in you than she sees within the self. The guru lives from that oneness, not just talks about it. He speaks from it. This gives the disciple or student a boost. There's something called the grace of the guru that is a most precious benefit. But even this is not necessary to realization. So don't think that you must take on a teacher or guru to come into your own realization. You don't. If, on the other hand, one comes to you in anything like the way Papaji came to me, you'll be happy to have that one's assistance on your way home. Just never feel you lack anything, because you don't. This whole thing of having a guru or a teacher is only a month or so new to me. I hardly know what to do. Even though we're all one, it's also true that each one walks their own way. We are so unique that what works for one may not have much relevance for another. And this is fine, though, as it can teach us to stand firm and strong in our own light, our own heart. Our way will be made clear for us. We've no need to follow anyone anymore. The blessing that comes to us through others and through the books and videos that cross our path is that it can ring those inner bells, that resonance which helps us get to better know the true self, the one hid within. This whole path is about meeting that self, coming into union with that. This one is divine. This one is also us. It's a conundrum to mind, but that's fine. I'll leave you with the link to the full lecture that is so precious to me. It's a satsang that included an interview by a spiritual magazine reporter. It was very well done. On into the interview, Papaji did a somewhat rare thing. He gave a bit of a lecture or talk. His satsangs, like those of Nisargadatta, are usually in question and answer format, so it's rare to hear him just take off and talk. I hope that your heart too will be touched by this. I know this lesson is mine that I'm sharing here, but then you are also me in the I am that truth. I've found that even when I'm just getting the other person's lesson with them from their perspective, it's still just as precious, just as real. I can as easily cry tears of joy for another as I can for the self. Another and self, I question those words. Now, perhaps we could call this creeping self tears, of course, capital S there. That sense of our overall identity, the divine one, that I am, that all are, at some point this begins to creep more and more noticeably into one's experience. I find myself offering prayers of deep gratitude for the blessings I see the other receive. It's all the same to me, to my experience, and I'm nothing that you're not. There is no saint nor holy one that you or I could see that would be holier than you are, than I am. Can you make room for that? It's just not possible. Not for heart eyes, for they know all is one. All are that. It is not reserved for some special one or another, some favorite son. All are that, or none are. God doesn't play favorites, and you are that God as I am. So let us take in what we can of what's presented to us through these blessed teachers, and just drop the rest down into heart. We can trust it there to do its good work, whatever that may be. We need not even know it or anything about it. Such things take care of themselves. And then, too, let us remember the teacher's words. In here, some other faculty will take care of you. Indeed.